Chapter 3. Power and Play Experiences in the Dream World. As I have mentioned, the dream environment is very sensitive to the slightest emotion or expectation that you hold. It is critically important that you be aware of this from the beginning. One thing is for sure, you will run into some very scary things as well. If you know beforehand how to deal with such events, they will have no power over you. In fact, they will prove to be instrumental to your continued growth towards trust, ability, and co-creation. Just remember, nothing can hurt you. Nothing. Realize that you create the experiences and abilities by your beliefs and expectations. Notice how just before something scary appears, you may have felt a slight fear of something about to happen. This is your own expectation manifesting almost instantly. Use this knowledge to your advantage. Your ability to fly, for example, is directly related to your confidence and belief that you can do it. If you feel that flying is going to be a struggle, then it is. If you truly feel that flying comes to you with no effort whatsoever, then flight is effortless for you. While you are dreaming aware, always be conscious of how your expectations and feelings could be impacting your dream experiences. With this in mind, you will be much more powerful and skilled. Since we are on the subject of flying, let's talk about that next. Flying is my favorite dream subject. I could write an entire book on this subject alone. Out of all the experiences and adventures I have had in the dream world, flying is by far the best. It's not just the view or scenery, it's the feeling. You feel like you are really flying. But how do I know how that feels? I have never flown without being in a plane in real life, so how do I know that it feels real? Truth is, I don't know. It just is. And as soon as you have experienced it, you will feel the same. It feels so natural, so beautiful, so familiar, and so welcome, like a release from bondage and confinement. There is such a feeling of joy, like something that you love to do, but have not been able to for a long time. I'll just come out and say it. It is my belief that the familiar joy of flying is due to some pre-life existence where flying was a natural part of our experience. If I had to describe the feeling, it is one of familiar relief and the joy of being able to do something again that I have missed greatly. Flying is beauty and joy. Flying in lucid dreams has for me two major components: joy and beauty. I have never in my life felt such an overwhelming sense of joy as when I am in flight in a lucid dream. I have had hundreds of lucid dreams, yet only when I am in flight have I experienced this joyous ecstasy. It compares most closely the descriptions I have read of the emotions of near-death experiences. This overwhelming sense of joy for me also includes a powerful gratitude factor. Not only am I filled with joy, but I am at the same time so grateful for the experience. Many times, I have been in flight and bursting with such joy and gratitude that I literally began saying out loud, "Thank you. Oh, thank you." This was not a voluntary reaction. I was compelled to say it. I was so overwhelmed by the experience that it came bursting out of me. On some occasions, I have even burst into song. Yes, I actually started singing my gratitude. Note, I'm not the kind of person who bursts into song for any reason. I know this may sound over the top, but it was not forced by me or upon me. I simply could not control myself. I just had to and wanted to. In addition to the joy, is the profound beauty. The vistas from a dream flight are breathtaking, literally. Many times, I have been in flight over incredible landscapes and gasped at the shocking beauty below me. Now it's your turn, and I will be your flight instructor. Not that you need a lot of instruction, you don't. Flying in a lucid dream is intuitive. I promise you that you will take to it like a duck to water or a bird to flight. Something about it will feel natural, and you'll be on your way. My instruction will be on the order of ideas and overcoming obstacles. Let's first talk about the obstacles, as they will pop up from time to time. As I mentioned above, all abilities, or lack of them, are the direct result of your expectations or beliefs. So right now, repeat after me. There is nothing I cannot do in a dream. I can do anything. Many lucid dreamers, including myself, have felt the frustration of not being able to fly in a particular dream. Let's say you are dreaming you are in a park with friends. All of a sudden you realize you're dreaming. Looking around, you decide to take off flying. So you leap into the air, only to find that you float for just a second before returning to the ground. Next, you decide to get a running start at it. So you start running through the park, leaping and jumping over and over, but again, you just keep coming back down to the ground. On a few of your tries, you might manage to get a few feet off the ground and fly along briefly, but ultimately you keep coming back down. Stop. You are creating your own resistance. The more you try, the more you are sending out the vibes or belief of struggle. Think about it. You are running and struggling to fly because it's not working, so you struggle more to make yourself take off. Your belief in that moment is that flying is difficult for you. And so it is. There is no difference between you and the dream environment. You are not separate from it. You are a part of it, and it, of you. The moment you begin to struggle, your belief is that flying is a problem. And so the dream environment creates a problem flight. The solution is to stop. Look around at the incredible detail and beauty around you. Remind yourself that you are in a dream and that you can do anything. You need not, and should not, put any effort into this. Stand there and say out loud, "This is a dream and I can do anything." Now don't try to fly. Stand there and just wait. Soon, you will begin to float up. Say out loud to the dream environment, "Take me on a beautiful flight." You will be whisked away like a rocket. Many times it will feel like you are being pulled through the air by some force. If you do not fear or resist this force, it will show you unbelievable vistas. As you gain experience, you will find that just launching yourself into the air, you can fly. Once you know you can fly and have lots of experience with it, you will find that any struggles will happen less frequently. However, should problems ever arise, use the above-mentioned technique, and you'll soon be shooting through the sky. Flight form. For some reason, many lucid dreamers feel that they have to fly in a certain position, like Superman, for example. Other dreamers feel they must flap their arms or hold their arms out like a bird's wings in order to glide. Again, this is just your own belief affecting and limiting your abilities. You can fly in any position you can think of. Aerodynamics is irrelevant to dream flight. I have on many occasions flown lying down and feet first. However, my favorite position is actually standing up with a slight tilt forward and my arms relaxed at my side. I just find this position the most relaxing and conducive to viewing as I fly. My choice for the cover art to this book is based on my favorite flying position. Choose whatever feels best to you. Just don't be limited by some concept of the need to be in any certain position. Remember, there is no need to flap your arms or strain in any way. Dream flying can take place at powerfully high speeds and altitudes with no more effort than a slight thought. Flying Lessons 101. Now let me give you some dream flight ideas. Fly at high speed just barely over the surface of the ocean or a lake. Let your fingers barely touch the water as you skim over at high speed. Fly at night over a city and marvel at the lights below you. Try flying as fast as you can. Get your velocity up so fast that the world below passes under you in a blur. Put no effort into this at all. Just say out loud to the dream environment, "Faster, faster." While in flight, you will find that just saying what you want will manifest the result. Try flying slow or even hovering in midair. Fly to a nice altitude, then stop and float there high above the world. Slowly turn around and take in the view 360 degrees. Really look at everything, breathe in deep, and experience it. Now say out loud, sharper, clearer. The dream environment will instantly become more vibrant, brilliant, and real. During flight, or in any lucid dream, it is also possible to change the weather or even the time of day. Dream example. I am flying over my home city at night near the mountains. The night air is crisp, and the clouds are slightly lit by the moon. As I'm flying along, I think, this is nice, but I would like the sun to come out. I gave it no more thought, forgot about it, and just continued on my flight. Within a few seconds, the sun began to rise rapidly, and in a matter of moments, I was flying in full daylight. Changing the environment is easier than you would think, as illustrated above. Really, it's just all about asking, then forgetting about it. Let's say you're lucid dreaming about walking at night through some dark, rainy streets. It's a bit creepy for your taste, and you would prefer it to be bright and sunny. Do not try to make this happen. Rather, just ask for it aloud. Just say, I'd like the rain to stop and for it to be bright and sunny. Then give it no more thought. Just forget about it, find something to do, and just enjoy the way things are in that moment. Within a few seconds, without any effort or thought from you, the rain will stop and the sun will come out. Sex and dreaming. Sex is by far one of the most popular activities that most lucid dreamers engage in. When you are lucid in your dream, you are free to do anything you want. Just as I have told you that nothing can hurt you, so I also tell you that you can do anything you want. And it's not long before a newbie lucid dreamer discovers that means anything. What is really amazing about lucid dream sex is the intensity of it. Female lucid dreamers report being able to achieve powerful orgasms in a matter of seconds while in lucid dreams, and at levels of intensity that they have never experienced before. I recall talking to one of my female friends about this a few years ago. She had experienced a few lucid dreams in her life, but had no idea what was possible. One of the concepts I explained to her was the experience of lucid dream sex. A few days later, I received a call from her on the phone. She was so excited to tell me that she had recently been able to experience dream sex while lucid. She was in shock at how real it felt and how quickly she was able to climax. In fact, her comment to me was, "Lance, I'm worried this is going to ruin real sex for me. Now that I've experienced this, nothing will ever be as good." She was, of course, half kidding, but her comment helps me to illustrate just how good it really is. As with everything I'm teaching here, it's easier than you think. In your lucid dream, find someone you are attracted to. Walk or fly up to them and simply ask, "Would you like to have sex?" 9 times out of 10, their answer will be yes. Dream characters are a subject, which I will address later. But for now, just accept the idea that things seem to go better when you treat them with a degree of respect. If you try to force yourself on one of them, you will meet with resistance and unproductive struggle. I personally am not one who finds this to be exciting. Force and struggle, that is. I prefer willing partners. I have found that not only with dream sex, but also in interactions of all kinds with dream characters, a level of respect and manners seems to be the way to go. So, don't be shy or afraid. There is nothing wrong, inappropriate, or sinful about it. Everyone has sex in his or her dreams. Being aware you're dreaming while doing it does not make it anything different, just better. The dream environment wants to please you, so do whatever you want. Lucid dreamers love the freedom that the experience gives them. You are free to do anything you want. Enjoy it, and do the things that you cannot do in your waking life. There are no rules and no consequences. So have fun, break the rules, and don't stop to worry about it for a second. Dream example. I am flying in a lucid dream. Below me is a small, cozy town. The small main street is lined with beautiful green trees. I decide to land and just walk around and check things out. As I walk down the street, I notice an espresso coffee shop. I decide to go in and have a nice latte. This is one of my favorite things to do in lucid dreams. Eating and drinking can be so amazing because it all tastes so real. As I walk in the shop, I am struck, as usual, by how real everything is. The shop is crowded with people, smoke fills the air, and the sounds of multiple conversations are everywhere. It is dimly lit with several neon signs on the walls. As I approach the counter, a pretty girl asks me what I would like. "One vanilla latte," I respond. As she is making it, I think, hey, this is a dream. I don't have to pay for this. When she brings the latte to me, I just take it, and a muffin, and walk away. She may have said something like, "Sir, you need to pay for that," but she did not pursue it any further than that. I then found a place to sit and drink my latte. As I sat there sipping my latte, I marveled in delight with how absolutely real it tasted. Doing this has been a recurring activity with me in many of my lucid dreams. I know it sounds simple, but just like so many things in the dream world, once you try it, you will be shocked and amazed. It's so commonplace for me to do this now that I don't even think about it. The same is true of dream sex for me. I give no second thought about walking right up to any woman I want, no matter what the situation or surroundings. Understanding dream characters. Let's expand now on the concept of dream characters. As I mentioned earlier, a measure of respect and manners seems to work out best in most situations. But with that said, don't go overboard with this either. They are, after all, just dream characters. The reason I give you this advice is to keep conflict to a minimum. As with everything in the dream world, your actions, intentions, and emotions will manifest nearly instantly. If your interactions with dream characters involve struggle and conflict, you will generate struggle and conflict back upon yourself through them. I have spent a lot of dream time analyzing, interviewing, and interacting with dream characters. I was fascinated by them for a while and wanted to know who or what they were. They can at times offer some interesting perspectives, but just as often they can be random in their responses and offer little of interest or value. Enjoy them and talk to them on occasion, but don't make too much of who or what dream characters are. They are just part of the dream environment. Use your dream time to develop confidence and ability. Many people can become aware while they are dreaming, but do not take it to the next level. Awareness will give you the ability to do anything. So do anything. As I became more and more aware of the power that was possible, I started to experiment with just how far I could take things. I found that I could break glass windows, then instantly put them back with a wave of my hand. I would walk up to a window, smash it with my hand, and then like a movie in reverse, the glass would go back to its original condition with a wave of my hand. I then took this idea to a larger scale by destroying entire buildings, then restoring them in an instant. Dream example. I am walking through a dusty desert environment. A short distance ahead of me is a couple of abandoned buildings. In my mind, I thought, earthquake. Instantly, the ground began to shake violently and the buildings crumbled to the ground. Then with a wave of my hand, the buildings were restored in an instant. I've changed night into day, rain into sunshine, and glaciers into tropical greenery. Enjoy your abilities and experiment with them. The more you demonstrate to yourself what you can do, the more the dream environment will respond and correspond with you. Eventually, you will begin to realize that there is more than power and play going on. You are not alone. You are not alone. Asking, the ultimate dream control. Throughout this chapter, you have read several dream accounts where I simply say or think something to get my intended experience. As in the dream where I was flying and wanted to go faster. I simply said out loud, "faster," and instantly my flight speed increased. I didn't do anything or try to go faster, I just said the word. But what was I really doing? Issuing a command? One could look at it that way, but that was not the intention or attitude behind my action. My emotion or feeling behind my words or thoughts was one of asking. I have read numerous accounts on various internet lucid dreaming discussion boards regarding frustrations with dream control. I can't tell you how many times I have seen this topic come up. Dreamers get so frustrated with trying to get or do the things they want once they have become lucid in their dreams. They struggle with flying. They can't get to where they want to go, and they always complain about not having enough control. Confidence, practice, and experience do play a large role in the extent of your abilities and control. But it pales in comparison to the unbelievable power of asking. Yet the paradox of this whole topic is that asking is not control. Control is about dominance, effort, force, and doing. Sometimes this can work in the dream world, but many times you end up with struggle and frustration. This is because you are not dealing with just your mind and your own imagination. Lucid dreaming is not the masturbation of your brain's imagination. The dream environment is not just the product of your dreaming mind. Yet this is the very attitude that leads people into their endless struggle with dream control. You cannot control that which is not entirely in your control, or something that is not entirely of your own creation or mind. I will explain this in more detail in the next chapter. But for now, just suffice it to say that asking will net you unbelievable results. Whatever it is that you want to do, ask. If you would like to fly with no effort at high speeds over beautiful landscapes, just ask for it. Say out loud, "I would like to go on an incredible fast flight high above some beautiful landscape." You will be in shock and delight when in the next few moments you launch into effortless, beautiful flight. Do you want to have sex with an attractive dream character? Ask. Walk right up to the person of your desire and say, "Would you like to have sex?" Or, "Would you do, fill in the blank to me?" 9 times out of 10 the answer will be yes, or they will just do it. No pun intended there. If they object or say no, just move on to someone else and ask them. Don't mess with arguing or struggling with the one that said no. Just move on to someone else. Trust me, the next one will say yes. Asking and allowing. Asking can bring about even more incredible results when combined with allowing. The way you do this is to leave your requests open-ended. Leave the details up to the dream environment. For example, just say, "Take me on a beautiful flight." Then just wait. Within seconds, you will be whisked away on an effortless flight over landscapes you had not even imagined or thought about. Better yet, leave the whole experience up to the dream environment. Say, "Take me where you will," and leave the whole experience open to whatever comes after that. Stand still and wait. You are about to be thrilled, surprised, and delighted. How can this work? How can this be? The answer is simple. You are not alone in the dream environment.